Hello and welcome to Study IQ English. Right now, BIMSTEC has been making news. A very important topic for GS Paper 2, international forums, organizations. It is important because definitely it's about India's Look East policy. Definitely it's about India now trying to diversify trade partners, export markets after the rebuff that we got from America in the form of 50% tariff punishment. So coming back to BIMSTEC, or the Bay of Bengal Initiative for Multisectoral Technical and Economic Cooperation is a regional organization. An organization that's meant to foster, to promote economic growth and cooperation in trade, transport, energy, security. It links the South and the Southeast Asian countries around the Bay of Bengal region. Extremely important for India also because recently India had announced with ASEAN the 2026 India-ASEAN Maritime Cooperation, because now for India, blue economy is the way to go. So therefore, let's look at what developments have happened. So it is in Kochi that for the first time we have seen the BIMSTEC-India Marine Research Network Conference. So remember that India and BIMSTEC Marine Research Conference was hosted by Kochi. For the first time, what was the idea? The idea was to boost blue economy cooperation. Now this should also remind us of the ASEAN commitment that India has taken. It is a biennial. It happens only once in 2 years. Regional platform for encouraging collaboration among various scientists, researchers in the Bay of Bengal region with the idea to promote sustainable development of blue economy. Blue economy is an economy that is promoted through marine growth, promoted through sea trade. And that is something India has been giving a lot of importance to. Example, the Great Nicobar project. Example, the desire to monitor the Strait of Malacca. Example, the idea of doing a proper survey in the Coco Island to make sure that China doesn't supervise our space and defense operations in the landfall island. All these important pointers show that yes, today India is extremely focused on the blue economy and its potential. Now recently, in the news, we were also discussing about the grey economy. Can somebody tell me what do you mean by a silver or a grey economy? Why is it different from a blue economy? So having said that, this entire cooperation conference, the BIMSTEC-India Marine Research Network Conference, is all about promoting sustainable blue economy, where in the area of the Bay of Bengal, the researchers are all a part of BIMSTEC member countries. Today, they are looking at more R&D, more research and development to promote further sustainable growth across tourism, trade and transport, as well as blue economy is the underlying priority. So it was for the first time. Now, if you talk about this conference, the India BIMSTEC Marine Research Network, something that's being called as the BIMReN. BIMReN, a part of BIMSTEC. So BIMReN was a concept that was initially announced by Indian Prime Minister Shri Modi during the Colombo BIMSTEC Summit back in 2022. Back in 2022. It was announced as a part of Indian efforts, India's initiative to promote India's neighborhood first policy, Act East policy, a more peaceful Indo-Pacific Ocean, a more peaceful Indian Ocean region, as well as the Mahasagar strategy of India. Very, very important. Now, talking about Indo-Pacific, in the last few months, every time we have spoken about Indo-Pacific, Indian Ocean region, we have always focused on countries trying to counterbalance China's rising influence, not only in the South China, East China Sea, but also across Indo-Pacific. No wonder India and UK have also signed a 10 years roadmap. A key part of that roadmap are exercises, including exercise Konkan. And today in the news, we also spoke about exercise Malabar that India has with Quad. Then there is another initiative called AUKUS, AUKUS. Can you tell me about AUKUS? What's the main idea behind AUKUS? Yes, you can share your comments here. And now coming back to BIMSTEC, In the diagram here, you can see all the various pillars of BIMSTEC. For example, cooperation across disaster management, cyclone, connectivity and tourism. We look at cultural connectivity. Today, India-Bhutan relations are also in the news as the King 4 of Bhutan celebrates his birthday. And Indian Prime Minister is scheduling a visit there. So therefore, yes, cultural integration becomes an important theme for India whenever it is about connecting with its eastern neighbors. Then comes maritime security and maintaining maritime security along with refugee crisis, a very good example being the Rohingya refugee crisis. So these are all the pillars of cooperation across BIMSTEC. And now coming back to BIMReN, the conference that is being hosted in Kochi, let's understand if it was announced in 2022. It was in 2024 that the Ministry of External Affairs, the Government of India, had finally operationalized it, launched it. It connected 25 institutions and more than 50 researchers, all coming from the BIMSTEC countries, all of them. And again, the aim was to promote collaborative research and study in maritime science, oceanography, ocean health, sustainable fisheries. Another agenda was at the Kochi conference to revise all these targets. Now, revision is very important, just like we revise when we prepare for our exam. Similarly, in a given conference or in an organization, if a certain number of targets are made, they have to be revised periodically. A very good example I can give you from the Conference of Parties, the COP30 that's right now going on in Brazil. It is all about revising the commitments made under the Paris Agreement 2015, whether it be about carbon financing or whether it be about the nationally determined contributions. Today, once again, if you look at the Kochi conference, the BIMReN conference, it was a time when all these countries, all the researchers from about various nations here, 25 institutions from BIMSTEC countries, all of them had to sit together and revise the targets that they had created back in 2022 and 2024. That was an important event for sharing the outcomes, for discussing challenges, obstacles, for talking about new research agendas that are aimed at improving marine ecosystem resilience and resource management naturally. Maritime security and defense are again crucial here. Very, very important because of the rising tensions in Indo-Pacific. And now the Ministry of External Affairs has also issued a statement saying that the launch of BIMReN being hosted at Kochi is about India's long-term commitment of regional cooperation when it comes to sustainable management of fisheries, the fishing industry. The Bay of Bengal now is also a very, very important region here because it is the Bay of Bengal that's contributing to about 6% of world fish resource. And that's an important figure here, 6%. It also is a home to more than 1/3 of global fishing fleet. Again, very important. Then it remains an important area for ensuring balanced growth and environmental leadership in the Indo-Pacific. So without the cooperation of BIMSTEC countries, it is difficult to even think about sustainable fishing, sustainable fishery development, purely because Bay of Bengal is an area that's rich in fisheries, say about 6%. And now talking about BIMSTEC, the organization which has resulted in the launching of BIMReN. So BIMSTEC was launched back in 1997, and for your exam you should remember the Bangkok Declaration. Just like recently when we spoke of ASEAN, we spoke about so many protocols, so many treaties. We also spoke about APEC, whose conference took place in South Korea. On that note, can you answer me a question? I had discussed with you the Bogor goals. Can somebody tell me with which organization were the Bogor goals associated? Let's see if you remember. That's a fun way of linking and remembering events. But now coming back to BIMSTEC again. Yes, it was created back in 1997 through the Bangkok Declaration. It came into existence. It is a group of 7 member states, including littoral and adjacent areas, all the areas that are around the Bay of Bengal. Let's understand it is unique because it links the countries of South and Southeast Asia. That's the importance, because 5 members are purely from South Asia: Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, Nepal and Sri Lanka. And when you talk about Southeast Asia, you have the Myanmar and Thailand. Now, Myanmar has been in the news at least 5 times through October and November. Why was it in the news? Do let me know in the comment box if you remember, with reference to India, of course. And now looking at BIMSTEC, BIMSTEC is also crucial because it brings together 1.7 billion people globally. That's 22% of world's population, with a combined gross domestic product of about 5 trillion US dollar. So that is tremendous. And that's why let's remember BIMSTEC. Let's remember the key pillars of BIMSTEC. Let's remember the BIMReN as a more collaborative research area from the BIMSTEC nations. Do remember it's important to sustainable maritime security, transparent, rule-based Indo-Pacific, as well as sustainable fisheries. So now back to the question, but before I give you this question, there is one more question I have for you. Now, if we talk about UNCLOS, United Nations Convention on the Laws of the Sea, in which year was it created also? Whenever you talk about creating a boundary between two countries, for example, look at India and Pakistan. There is a particular area that is controversial. It is a narrow estuary in the western flank of India. That is a key zone of contest between Pakistan and India. It was also in news with regards to the 1971 Indo-Pak War. So which area is that? And such water bodies that act as a dividing line between two countries are governed under which principles? All these questions, do let me know in the comment box and we can also discuss them later. Now quickly the question on BIMReN. Consider the following statements about BIMSTEC-India Research Network or BIMReN and about India's regional maritime initiatives. 1. BIMReN was launched in 2024 to facilitate collaborative marine research, ocean health monitoring and sustainable fishery management by the BIMSTEC countries, all the members. 2. It aligns with India's Neighbour First policy, Act East policy, Mahasagar and the Indo-Pacific policy, promoting more regional and marine ecosystem resilience. And 3. BIMReN's main aim is to expand India's commercial fishing fleet in the Bay of Bengal to secure an important share in global fishing trade. Which of these statements do you think are valid? Do let me know the answer, but answer is not the only thing that I'm looking for. Do let me know various points that we spoke about, any perspective that you have, any topic that you want me to bring for you, something that fascinates you, something that you enjoy studying. Do let me know and I'll be here with that. And a quick reminder about Success in Prelims initiative. With very few months for Prelims 2026, this could be one last opportunity. Coming at a price of only $4,999, batch starts 15th November. Enroll for it today to make sure you get complete guidance, hands holding and training, intensive training, because it's a crash course which prepares you 100% to succeed in the upcoming prelims. And how can you do that? By using the code SPLIVE here, SP Live. All this being celebrated as our Learners' Day sale event. But also, if you are studying for UPSC 2027, we have equally exciting offers for all GS courses. Same goes for 2028. All GS courses included, along with CSAT, along with mentorship in answer writing and news. And that is at a price of $32,999. Use code SPLIVE for all these sale offers. And if you want to hear back from us, fill up a form that's here in the description box. Thank you.